So, with every new cruise mandate that comes out, look at what we have so far. We have pre testing before you arrive at the cruise port, we have vaccination requirements, we have mask mandates, and every single time we get a new cruise mandate, it seems like the gap between cruisers gets wider and wider for those that support the mandates and for those that are against the mandates. And as we get further and further apart, I do start to wonder, are we ever going to reach a time when we come back together as cruisers? But let's get into it right after this. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, so if you saw our video from yesterday, you know Carnival Cruise Lines has joined Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and MSC Cruise Lines in requiring 100% vaccinations for all cruise passengers 12 and above. The exception being if you can provide medical documentation as to why you cannot be vaccinated, you may receive an exemption. And of course, children 2 through 11 are still able to cruise because they cannot receive the vaccination. So that is where we currently are with that. Now, we all know that there is a requirement to have a COVID-19 test 72 hours prior to boarding the cruise ship. And then once on board the cruise ship, there are masking requirements for indoor locations. Now, they do vary between the cruise lines. For Carnival Cruise Lines, it says it is in certain locations. On Royal Caribbean, it is any space indoors unless it is designated vaccinated only. Now, that one may change under these new guidance because majority of the people are going to be vaccinated, so maybe there will be more places. And MSC has a masking requirement as well. The only cruise line that is doing its own thing right now that is different than the rest is Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, they are 100% fully vaccinated, no exceptions, and no children 11 and younger on the ship. No vaccine, no Norwegian. Now, they also have no masking policy currently on the ship. All venues are open, all activities are available. But the division between cruisers is huge. Huge. We are talking Grand Canyon size division right in the middle of all of us. So on one side of the canyon, we have those that believe all cruisers should be 100% vaccinated. They fully support pre-testing. They fully support 100% vaccinations. And they're a little iffy on the mask requirements. I do see a lot of belief that if you have pre-tested before you get on the cruise, and if you could get the cruise to be 100% vaccinated with no exceptions, there is a call that there should be no masking policy, like Norwegian is doing. And I can see that. Well, then you have the other side of the canyon, and that is those that do not want to take the vaccine. And the opinion that they put forth in the comments is that if you are vaccinated and you are safe from the virus and you are protected from the virus, what do you care about the people around you? That should be on them. So, like I said, two different opinions, very much the opposite of each other. Well, the truth is probably somewhere more in the middle where it usually is. So, some facts as I know them. If you are fully vaccinated, there is less risk of you having a severe reaction to the COVID-19. You can still catch it. You can still spread it. But the majority of the time, you may not even know you are doing so because you remain asymptomatic. So a much less chance of you having any kind of severe reaction. On the unvaccinated side, you have a greater chance of having a serious reaction. Yes, you're carrying it. Yes, you're spreading it. Your chances of being as asymptomatic as a fully vaccinated are much less. You have a greater chance of a severe reaction. And I think when it comes to the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, it's not that the vaccinated are necessarily scared that the unvaccinated are on the ship. I don't think they believe that the unvaccinated are going to make all of us vaccinated people on the ship sick. Honestly, I think the biggest concern is that the unvaccinated, if they have a several severe reactions and that kind of sickness begins to spread around a cruise ship full of unvaccinated people, it can disrupt the cruise. It could ruin everybody else's vacation. Now, that is just an opinion that I have extrapolated from reading all of the comments, that it's really more of an issue of, you know what, I want to go take a safe, positive vacation as normally as I possibly can. There's no way we can have a no masking policy on a cruise ship if it is full of unvaccinated. And that is what the vaccinated side really wants. I mean, me personally, I don't really mind taking the test 3 days prior to going to the cruise port. Kind of a pain in the rear end, but you know what? I don't mind doing it. I got vaccinated months and months ago because I honestly believed at the time we were going to come to this point with cruise ships and the vaccine was going to be required to continue moving forward, and here we are. At the end of the day, everybody is going to leave a comment about how they feel no matter what. But you know what? Here is the bottom line, and here is basically the truth. The cruise lines are going to continue to move forward following health and safety regulations. They are going to continue to follow the requirements of the foreign countries and ports that they visit. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Why? Because they are a company that needs to make a profit. They need to sail. They need to have passengers on board. Surveys have been taken more than one time that have indicated that 80% or greater of cruise passengers want fully vaccinated cruises or want to sail on cruises that are majority vaccinated. The cruise lines see this. The cruise lines know this. Okay? Do you honestly think that the cruise lines would do something that is purposely going to destroy their profit margin? They're doing this because they know they can still make money. That's why they're not fighting it. That's why they're agreeing with it. That's why they're continuing to move forward. Not only do they have to, but because, honestly, the majority of cruise passengers want it to go that way. Now, if you are not part of that percentage, if you are unvaccinated, choose not to get unvaccinated, but still want to cruise, I'm sorry. At least right now, that is not going to go your way. And I don't expect it to go your way for the remainder of the year. At least, at a very minimum, probably into next year as well. But you can always look at the silver lining. For those people that are cruising right now, let them get all the bugs out of the system, so when it's time for you to cruise again, everything's perfect. I guess that is at least one way you can look at it, one positive way that you can consider. But this is the way it is probably going to be going forward for a lot of things. Airlines are now talking about requiring proof of vaccine before you can fly. A lot of businesses are going to require the vaccine before you can work there. I've seen stories about restaurants that you have to prove you're vaccinated before you can go in and sit down and eat. Like it or not, believe in it or not, trust it or not, at least at the moment, this is the way it is going forward. But if you don't want to get the vaccine, you do you. You know, that is my philosophy. You do you. You do what you think is right for you. Of course. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just kind of looking in the crystal ball here, trying to predict the future of where cruising is going to be a week, 2 weeks, a month, and a year down the road. That's what I'm looking at. Making plans and preparations today so I can continue to get on cruise ships month after month, year after year. Because that's my goal. That's what I want to do. And if you want to do the same thing, you may have to go down a path that you may not want to go down just to get there. But I'm not a health expert. I'm not a legal expert. I don't work for a cruise line, so I honestly don't know what they're talking about behind closed doors. Just kind of looking and predicting based on what is out there, what information is out there and available. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think the restrictions are going to continue to tighten up to the point where we get to a 100% vaccinated cruise very similar to what Norwegian Cruise Line is already doing? Or do you think perhaps this is the worst it's going to get, and that here shortly, months or weeks, the restrictions may begin to ease off? Let me know which one of those two you think is probable. Alright, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, let's give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Have yourself a great day, and we're going to see you out on the high seas.